Listen, we all know my problems I have with notebooks and just loose leaf lined paper. So today I thought a great idea. Someone had a great idea to do this, and I think it's an amazing idea. We should rank a couple of notebooks from worst to best. The best notebooks. I'm gonna be telling you what the best freaking notebooks are in the world. So let's just start ranking these freaking notebooks. Let's freaking do this. We got the tape bound notebook, which is like the dumb notebook that it's like a composition notebook, except way worse. This is pretty freaking garbage. This is not good for, you know, when you're writing, because like let's say you have a enclosed desk, you don't have much room in the desk, so you have to like kind of make some room. Having this is not good because you can't, when you fold it, it just kind of ends up breaking eventually. These notebooks aren't too freaking good. I mean, they're not an F tier, they're not an S tier. I think this the tape bound notebook is definitely a nice solid C, if that's where I would put it. I don't use these ever, but when I have, it's never been good, but it's also never been terrible. So I wouldn't recommend it. It's good quality paper, but it's annoying when you fold it. Next, we got the steno notebook. I've honestly never used one of these before, but I didn't even know that's what it's called. But it's a notebook with the rings at the top instead of on the side. This notebook's alright if you're a freaking intern at some place and you're like, oh man, I need to write down what this dude's saying so I can make sure I get the job or whatever. I mean, it's an alright notebook. Why would you use it in school or in college? I mean, yeah, you know, it's probably good for if you're like making up freaking ideas like, oh, I gotta do this today, or errands and all that. Yeah, that's probably good for that. So I'm gonna put it in the B, definitely a tier higher than the tape bound one. That's very freaking stupid. Coming next with the leather notebook. This is honestly the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Why would you combine leather with the notebook? It looks more like a binder than anything. It doesn't look like it'd be useful in any way. Unless you're on the pirate ship and you need to write down the coordinates for where you are at in your Minecraft server, then I don't know. I don't think you need this. I'm gonna put this in the F tier. Who the frick puts leather with a book? Next, we got the freaking the legal pads. I didn't even know this what's called either. But this is like the steno notebook with the rings on the top, except it's like tape or whatever at the top. This is the same issue with this freaking the tape bound one, where like when you fold it, it's kind of weird. Except this is actually made for more folding because it kind of like goes behind itself because there's no cover, so it's a little bit better. I'm gonna put it in the B. I think I might move this. Nah, we're gonna leave it in the B. This is definitely better than the tape bound. Nah, I take it back. This tape bound's gonna go into D, and this deserves to be a C. This freaking legal pad. Next, we got the freaking the graphing notebook. I forget that's what it even is, but we're doing the freaking graphing notebook. It's essentially the notebook with like, instead of it being lines and just straight lines, it's a bunch of squares. I use it for science class for graphing stuff, or just math too. Pretty alright notebook, pretty nice, solid quality notebook. It's the same thing as like a composition notebook, except it, you know, graphing. So I'm gonna put it in the B because it's a good notebook, but not the best. You know, there's been some better ones out there. You're not using it often. It's mainly just for like a couple things, but it's cool. It's good if you're gonna play Sudoku or frickin' do lattice or something like that. Okay. Next we got the diary notebook. I include the diary on here because if you can write in it and it has no pages or any words in it before you open it, it's a freaking diary or it's a notebook. So we're doing this. The diary. I've never used a diary in my life. I'm sure it's great and fine, but it's like a book. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for this main reason. Like the front part of most diaries have like the little lock thing. And let's say you have it in your backpack, right? Even though I know you're supposed to keep it at home. Imagine if you have it in your backpack, right? You're trying to shove things in your backpack. You're trying to make room or try to fit as much stuff in your backpack as you can. This is gonna end up breaking off the front part because you're just trying to shove it in there. It's just not good for backpacks. Don't put it in your freaking backpack. Diaries are alright, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend using it. It's just whatever. It's fine, I guess. So we're gonna put it in the D. It's not the worst, but definitely not great. Next, we got the composition notebook, my worst enemy, but it's not a bad book. The only problem, it's like with the tape bound one, it's where like when you fold it back, it's kind of weird. But this is the all reliable. You need this. This is the notebook they need all the time. It's pretty solid. I'd say it's good paper. You know, if you want to rip paper out of it, it's not. You can't do that. It's mainly just you gotta keep it intact. So that's a pretty good notebook. I'm gonna put it in the B. Right now, alongside the graphing notebook. Next, we have a CD notebook, which I never knew of in my life before. I didn't know this was a thing. Unfortunately, you cannot put CDs in it, so it's gonna be a nice solid fat F. It's like the diary, except it's way worse, and I just don't like that. It has like a freaking thing in the front, and it's stupid, and it's just dumb. So it's gonna be an F. Next, we got the big ring notebook. It's essentially your classic spiral notebook, but with bigger rings. Now these are good because there's like art books with this too, like same things, like drawing pads or drawing notebooks. So these are pretty good just for writing in general, and just for drawing too, if you want to use it for drawing. I definitely would give it an S, but the problem with it is sometimes when you put it in your backpack, like I said before, when you're jamming stuff into your backpack, the rings will get messed up, so maybe you'll like be turning a page and then the paper just falls out. Otherwise, pretty good notebook as long as you don't freaking clutter your backpack. We're gonna put it in the A tier. This is pretty good, not gonna lie. The last one on my list, the Spiral OG notebook. This guy is all reliable himself. He's been there since day one. He's the one you always want to use. The perfect notebook. You can open the cover, put it behind the back of the cover because it's a spiral notebook. It works so perfectly. It's so good. If you're running out of room on your desk because for some reason you have 50 binders on your desk and you have nowhere else to put it, boom, fold the notebook. Boom, you have more room. Boom, you can write. It's a great notebook. The spiral notebook is the OG notebook, the best notebook in the business. If you're not running a spiral notebook, you're not living. It's just factual. So, gotta put my boy, the spiral notebook, at the S tier for the best freaking notebook in all of notebook history. It's so freaking good. If you don't have a spiral notebook, you're actually an idiot. I have a spiral notebook, not near me, but I know I have one in my room. So, rock a spiral notebook. It's pretty freaking good. But yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoy this tier list. I know I'm very educated in the notebook industry. It's just what I do. Let me know if you guys agree with this or not in the comments below. What's your favorite notebook? Let me know. I would love to know. And I'm gonna go now. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, Christmas, whatever time of day it is for you. Enjoy it. Live it up to the fullest. And I'll see you guys next time with another video.